You are listening to KLRN Radio, where liberty and reason still reign.
Ready to stand out, Army ROTC prepares you not only as a college student, but as a strong leader, allowing you to earn the rank of second lieutenant. You will be eligible for full tuition merit-based scholarships and develop leadership skills essential for your future. Start strong and enhance your college experience. Visit your campus Army ROTC representative today. To find out how you can earn up to a full tuition scholarship, visit goarmy.com/podcast to locate your closest ROTC program today. Army officers inspire, strengthen others. Paid for by the United States Army.
At the LASIK Vision Institute, we know LASIK is a big decision, and every one of our patients is unique. That's why we customize your LASIK journey to you.
I only have a certain budget.
No problem. Right now at the LASIK Vision Institute, get 20% off LASIK when treated in April. That can be over $900 off when treating both eyes, plus guaranteed financing options. So visit GetLVILASIK.com today to start your journey towards 20/20 vision. Must mention this promotion and be treated in April of 2024 to qualify. 20% off standard price of wave light procedure. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Go to GetLVILASIK.com for details. At the LASIK Vision Institute, we know LASIK is a big decision, and every one of our patients is unique. That's why we customize your LASIK journey to you.
I'm so busy right now.
We offer a mix of convenient days and times, including 30-minute virtual appointments to fit your schedule.
I would love it, but I have astigmatism.
We treat thousands of patients with astigmatism every month with great outcomes. The LASIK Vision Institute is making your journey towards 20/20 vision all about you. So visit GetLVILASIK.com today to start your LASIK journey.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app. Happy listening.
Hi, I'm Mike, founder of DollarShaveClub.com. What is DollarShaveClub.com? Well, for $1 a month, we send high-quality razors right to your door. Yeah, $1. Are the blades any good? No. Our blades are f***ing great. Each razor has stainless steel blades, an aloe vera lubricating strip, and a pivot head. It's so gentle a toddler could use it. And do you like spending $20 a month on brand name razors? 19 go to Roger Federer. I'm good at tennis. And do you think your razor needs a vibrating handle, a flashlight, a back scratcher, and 10 blades? Your handsome-ass grandfather had 1 blade and polio. Looking good, pop-up! Stop paying for shave tech you don't need. And stop forgetting to buy your blades every month. Alejandro and I are going to ship them right to you. We're not just selling razors, we're also making new jobs. Alejandro, what were you doing last month?
Not working.
What are you doing now?
Working.
I'm no Vanderbilt, but this train makes hay. So stop forgetting to buy your blades every month and start deciding where you're going to stack all those dollar bills I'm saving you. We are DollarShaveClub.com, and the party is on.
I know karate, I know jiu-jitsu, and drive like a gangster when I'm coming to see you, see you.
The following program contains coarse language and adult themes. Listener discretion is advised.
And welcome once again to another episode of The Cocktail Lounge. I am your hostess with the mostest, Aggie, and with me as always is the affable and quaffable, ever suave Martini Shark, also known as Brad Slager. I don't know why I wanted to call you Martin.
Martin. Wow. That's just...
It has been a day. Okay. It has been a day.
Well, Ajayi, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm fine. I had a pretty interesting day. I spent some of it with my dad, and we went to a bookstore, and that was an experience. I will say. I went to Barnes and Noble, expecting. I don't know what I expected. I guess I expected books, but you know how you go. You walk in and you expect the first section to be the classics. You know, the books that we all read in high school, the books that have withstood the test of time. You know, people like, you know, Robert Browning and William Shakespeare and, you know, Arthur Conan Doyle, Agatha Christie. You expect those to be in like one section that were distributed all over the place. I could not find anything, but
Well,
everything Harry Potter was in one section, and it was a huge section. And I'm
oh
like,
well,
oh,
hell yeah.
this you can do, but you can't put all the classics together. Okay.
Well, I
I
think
was
they even,
annoyed.
I think a lot of the ones that have fallen into the public domain, they even publish themselves. Like they have their own hardcover classic edition, that sort of thing.
Yes, they had, you know, I asked a young lady if she could find me, if she could help me find a specific book. And,
Where are your good books at?
well, here's the thing. I expected her to know certain authors. And if she didn't know, she could just look it up in a, you know, they have a computer there.
Yes.
And so I specifically asked for Jack London, figuring that most people would know who Jack London is, considering most people have to, you know, Call of the Wild, White Fang. You know, some people will actually remember those books. She was like, she asked me what genre. And I told her it could be one of several. Adventure is usually where you would find him at. But I told her, but he's also considered one of the classics, so it would be in your classics section. Oh, we don't have a classics section.
What?
Okay. All right. I don't think this is true of every Barnes and Nobles. It was just true of this one.
Sounds like you're about to go and say, can you show me
I
where to find Jack London? Yeah, all the maps are over there in the corner.
Well, she finally pointed me to the direction of where the classics were, and what she did was the section is actually
Old people.
no the pretty bound books, the ones that are now bound to look pretty on your shelf, you know, that kind of thing.
Right.
And and I'm looking at that going, I don't know about you, but Star Wars trilogy is not considered a
No, but I know they do. I think they do have one that Barnes and Noble is bound, like the early novelizations, I guess it was.
Yes,
I seem
yes.
to recall seeing like a black one that had Darth Vader on it or something.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah,
I was
there you go.
actually tempted to get that, but I said, no, I have the novelizations and that's enough. But it's just like, this is not what I'm looking for. And, you know, so we just walked around the whole place, and the manga section was huge. I was
that's
completely thrown.
my daughter
Because,
was into that for a few years, so I remember that distinctly.
well, you know, my kids are into it too, so I like to keep up with the new ones, because I was into it when Japanimation started becoming a thing. That was back in the 90s. So it's been a while for me. It has progressed to the point where I'm completely lost now. So my kids are actually telling me, oh, you should do this one. You should read this one, and you should watch this one. And I'm like, okay, let's narrow it down. I don't want anything that's creepy, gory, or, you know, scary. Well, that leaves half of the shit that they recommended out completely.
Yeah, and the other half is lurid sexual.
Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want my kids recommending that to their mother. But I've been.
Mom said the lesbian princess novels are perfectly fine.
Well,
There's
it
no
was,
violence in them.
you know, I asked a young lady that worked there, you know, about manga and everything. And she's like, are you looking for girl harem or boy harem? And that's where I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask my kids and I will get back to you. Because I was like, yeah, when they start doing that, I'm like, yeah, that's too old. That's too adult for me. Okay. That's too adult for me.
Want the moment to go pick flowers. Do you have that?
Do you have anything pretty? I think the last Japanimation film that I watched was Grave of the Fireflies, and that one hit me really hard. I mean, that was a sad story. So I've been very shy about getting back into it. I mean, I saw Spirited Away, but that one was...
Yeah, but that's Studio Ghibli. That's a little bit different. I don't think that qualifies as manga.
Howard's Moving Castle, I watched that one too. But of the gritty, of the adult nature, that kind of stuff, Grave of the Fireflies was the last one that I actually saw. And so it has been many, many years. I think I saw that one in 93, I want to say, 93. So it's been 30 years. Although for me, it's been 10 because I refuse to believe that 1990 was 30 years ago. It was only 10 years ago. So we'll go.
How's that denial working for you?
It's working fine. So anyway, so it has been a day. I will say that it's an adjustment coming back home and having, because I don't want to mess anything up. That my mom has a system, and so I don't want to mess anything up. So I'm constantly watching myself. It's been nerve wracking. She's not even here, and and my nerves are shot. So yes, Martin, it has been a long day.
Thanks. Okay. Well, I suppose that's understandable.
Oh man, I'm never gonna live that down. So, how are you doing?
I'm mostly okay. It's been a hectic sports weekend, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Sure has.
I guess I'm in denial, so I'll just get through with it. Florida Panthers had their ass handed to them. Yes, Mike. The Bees took care of them in game 1 last night. Wasn't pretty. I mean, it was like for the first half of the game, it was exactly like I thought it would be. Very tight, very close.
Mm-hmm.
0-0 in the first period. We get the first goal. Looks like, okay, this is going to start. And then the tide shifted. And then the table turned. And then every other cliche. Basically, Boston kicked their ass. 5-1 final.
Oof. That's rough. Sorry,
yeah,
buddy.
but, it's one game. You can't build an entire series on that. So our defense played a little rougher than usual, I would say. It looked good in the first period, too. That was the thing. The back end is looking great, and then they just kind of lost their way. So it was a disappointing evening. I'll just go with that. So, game 2 tomorrow. Time to turn it around.
Yeah,
we had the Kentucky Derby this
happen.
Saturday, too. Did you watch the race?
I was unable to watch the race this past Saturday. I was too busy being instructed by my mother on what to do around the house and how not to touch certain things. So, yeah, for those of you
dust for Prince or something, what the hell?
Okay, for those of you who are unaware, I drove down to my folks. I'm going to be staying with my dad for the month of May, and while my mother is in Puerto Rico, attending to family matters over there. I think one of my aunts is sick. So I'm here, and my mom was insisting that I get here before Sunday. The plan was I was going to leave Saturday morning, spend the night in San Antonio, and then come down Sunday morning to my parents, because I live almost 11 hours away from my folks now. And so she insisted, no, I have to be here on Saturday. So I left Friday afternoon rather, and I stayed overnight, and then I drove in, which was why there was those, the donut. I finally had my donut. I haven't had a donut in years, y'all. So I had to tweet the donut. And And the ensuing hilarity once my mother found out that I was on the road, how she made me stop for fried chicken. And I love my mom. She's hilarious. But yeah, most of Saturday, it was spent doing stuff with my mom, helping her get ready, helping her pack her bags and doing all that. So I missed the race, but I saw that photo finish. Oh my God. That was incredible.
Yeah, it was quite the race. I got to say this. It was somewhat sloppy condition. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but I didn't think it would be too big a deal. But man, they came around. I got to see if I still got it. Here we go. I mean, when they hit the final turn, it was just this wad of horses. It was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you couldn't even pick anybody out at first. And then they come down the stretch and it thinned out a little bit, but not too much. And man, 3 horses finished within a nose. That was amazing.
That was incredible. I mean, I'm sure that, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I would think that would be, being so close would be more disappointing when you lose than being farther away, you know?
No, it was, yeah, because I mean, a lot of times, you know, you're in the home. Most people were, because everybody was going with the favorite and didn't. But it was kind of funny. We were at the house, you know, a couple hours. We were watching the undercard races and such, and then the wife just had a wild hair. She's like, "Oh, we got a bet. Okay.
Oh, really? Oh, how cute.
And
I like that.
She did your thing.
What? The dancing?
Yeah. No, but she was picking, you know, and it's like, okay, I already, you know, I did you can read my article because I did it and I covered like the top 10. She's like, no, just give me their names.
Aha.
And I was like, but she's like, no. And all right, so I pulled up
I'm sorry, Brad. We don't care about stats. We only care about colors and names. That's just
I know. I pulled up the field and I give it to her, you know, and then I put my article went up, and then our friend Christy, she texted me. She's like, Brad, your list is incomplete. I go, what? Huh? How? She's like, you didn't tell me which horse is gray.
Oi.
So, and then I had to go research. I had to pull up like a picture of each damn horse, and there was one in the entire pack of 20. It was like, okay, here you go. And I think it was going off at like 50-1 or something. And she actually said she placed a bet on it, and then by post time, it was down to like 16-1.
Wow. Really?
Yeah. It did finish in the money. She got hosed on it, and then, you know, so the wife is sitting there, she's like, oh, I like this name. I want this one. Every horse she's picking is like 20-1 or higher, with the exception of Forever Young. And she wants to put winner on all of them. I was like, okay, just how about this? Forever Young's a Japanese horse. Japanese horses never won the race. Why don't we do that one to show? And she's like, what does that mean? Like, 3rd place. And if he comes in 3rd, you'll get money. Comes in 1st, you'll get money. If you bet him to win and he comes in 3rd, you won't get money. She's like, and so she relented on that one. All the others
safer bet.
Well, it was just, you know, hedge a little bit. And then, you know, I think I threw about 4 or 5 bets up, including a Mystic Dan Sierra Leone Exacta. So they have this photo finish. It took a good half hour. We're in the bar. You know, we went to the tavern to go watch the race and then the games afterward. And I'm like pacing. And, you know, they keep showing it. And it depends on which angle, which horse had the head bob. And literally, I think Sierra Leone edged out Forever Young by whiskers. It was, a centimeter probably separated them at the wire. And so that came in. I was a happy guy. And then she got all mad. She's like, I didn't even see Mystic Dan on the list. I would have picked that one. So she's pissed off. And I was like, hang on. Forever Young finished show. You just, you know, you pocketed there. You almost broke even, in fact. And, you know, and I hit big. I did real good with my win. She was mad about the rest of the night. I was like, hang on. You were excited betting and you're mad winning. Don't go to Vegas. Don't go to the track, okay? Like, she was all jazzed putting the money down. It's like, look at that. We both won, isn't it? And I'm like, you know, I'm not high-fiving everybody in the bar. I was like, holy shit, that's cool as that. We both won. And she's just like, damn. Nah, whatever, I guess.
Seriously?
I don't know if she was mad she didn't win more or if she was mad that I won more. I don't. But yeah, cashed out. So it was a good day.
Nice. Nice. I hope that made up for yesterday in a way, at least.
Well, yeah, it all balanced out.
It balanced out.
It was kind of funny. I was like, I was there at the end of the game last night and came home and I was like, and I wake up this morning and I'm just like, why do I feel like, I just feel like punch a ferret in the neck. That's right. We got ass handed to us last night. I do have a little overinvestment in things like this, but because sports makes absolutely zero sense. None whatsoever. Like the rooting interest and all the emotional build. The guys on the ice have no clue who I am. And yet here I am, like heavily invested in. My life is tied up in their fortunes. It makes no damn sense, and it's like, well, yeah, but you're going for the home team. It's like, okay, they're playing a game, and I hate guys from another city playing the exact same game. So we could,
love of the game, Brad.
We could be planning a trip. Oh, we should go to Boston sometime. It's all historical. We can see the old houses. Yeah, it'd be great. Hey, the Bruins are from Boston. Yeah. Just where does this come from? What is this?
Well, I think it's only during hockey season, or at least I hope it's only during hockey season.
For the most part, but and of course,
because you're really one of the most affable people I know.
No, I know. It's more, like my anger and stuff like that is usually more jovial. It's just, oh, you're from the other team. Okay, so you're one of the baby rapers. Got it. I always use that one. Whoa. Usually on the referees, though.
Okay.
That'll get your attention in the bar, too. It's like they'll blow a call or something. Like, that stupid baby raper zebra son of a bitch. And people, whoa, what the hell just happened? It's like, just jokes, folks. We're just kids. It's okay. Not taking any hostages here after the game. Relax, calm down. It's all one. But yeah, it's just it doesn't make sense. I think Jerry Seinfeld back in the day summed it up because you're rooting for your guys that are on the field, but then if your guy gets traded to another team, now you hate him, and then whoever replaces him he's like basically you're just rooting for laundry. It's whoever's wearing that jersey in your hometown is a good guy. That's what it comes down to. But yeah, it doesn't make sense. But I think it's all emotional, so it doesn't have to make sense. But fun nonetheless. They had some fun in Arizona though with baseball, sort of.
Oh yeah, they did.
There was a baseball story that caught my eye. I had like zero interest in baseball. No idea.
I like, it's funny. I like baseball, but like I said, I don't keep track of any of the stats. I don't know the players. I'm not affiliated with any team. The only player that I have any semblance of actually being a fan of died in 1973. So it's just, but I like the game. I do like the sport. I like the relaxed tension, for lack of a better expression, when it comes to baseball.
Well,
unlike you.
And again, I don't knock it. I don't sit there and people want to watch it. That's great. It's just not for me. It was kind of funny. It was before the game last night. One of my friends at the bar is another hardcore hockey guy. We always chatted up and stuff. But beforehand too, he was talking about the Heat. And this guy, he should be a guard, but he's more of a power forward. And I'm just like kind of looking at him, and he's like, you don't really care about this, do you? I was like, honestly, zero. He's like, no. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's like guard, power forward. I don't even know what those are on the court. I assume one of the sides, but that's how little I care. I'm just like, so it's basketball. It sucks. I'm not gonna watch. So anyway, baseball. They're playing last Tuesday in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
Game was delayed 2 hours though because the backstop netting had a complete swarm of bees populating right there. Like I guess they were transporting the queen. They said, here's a good spot. We're going to do it. Good lighting.
No, actually, what probably happened was that they may have broken off from another hive, and the queen they were looking for a bigger place, and that's where the queen ended up to rest, and that's why they were populating there. A lot of people tend to think that this is something that can be rather dangerous, but bees are pretty placid if you leave them alone. So nobody was in danger unless you're highly allergic, in which case, that could be a very big concern. But yeah, it was best to remove it, because if a ball happened to hit that particular swarm, that could have been bad.
Oh, yeah. One while back, and all of a sudden, Section 110 is getting inundated, but I get it. Bees are cool. I love bees. I always try to save them. Like, we're in a pool. For some reason, they love our pool. And they're always in the water, like drowning. It's like, you dumbass. So I'm picking them up and I'm trying to save it. Everybody else is like freaking out, giving me 20, 30 feet of birth. It's like, oh my God, kill it. Like, no, it's fine.
No,
he's going to sting you. And it's like, well, for one, it's a girl. Guys aren't allowed to leave the hive, sexist bitches that they are. And I just like to save them so they go do the flower thing and make some honey up and all that stuff. So anyway, back to Arizona. So this is going on. Game's delayed. They had to call somebody in. Beekeeper Matt Hilton apparently was on speed dial. Also, Matt was at his son's T-ball game at the time.
The irony does not escape me.
So he was like, oh, yeah, okay. He's like, well, I got to leave the baseball game because I got to go to the baseball game. So there he is on a scissor lift in Arizona. It's kind of funny, too. Like, he's going up on it, and you can see the first sections are cleared out, and then behind that, it's packed. Like, they moved everybody back and shoved them in, and then they're all watching them. So he goes to town. He's collecting them, cleans everything up, saves the day, saves the game, in fact, and they were so thrilled. They let him hang around, and he threw out the first pitch.
It was kind of cool. I went and I watched the video of the actual collection, and he had his beekeeper stuff. He had the funnel. He had the vacuum. He had the smoker. You put the bees to sleep first, obviously, and that you do with smoke. And so that's why he was, wafting smoke, just on the entire hive. And then you start with it's kind of like a little vacuum type of thing. Once you remove the queen from there, they actually follow everything into the vacuum. You can just turn it off and they'll just go inside. It's really kind of cute to watch. I know I say it's cute to watch. I like bees. So that was kind of cool that he got to throw the pitch and all that stuff. And personally speaking, they should do what the San Antonio Missions do once a year, which is they change their name for 1 month, and they're the Flying Chanclas. And
right.
They should do this. The Arizona Swarm, just for 1 month. It's for charity. You do things with kids. You try to you do game nights for families. That kind of thing. That would actually probably boost their image quite a bit too.
Well, it got better. Why is this all, man, chat sucks. It's always connected. But more than throwing out the first pitch, the Topps baseball card company commemorated this and gave him his own card, special edition.
Oh, that is nice.
And it sold out like instantly. Well, I saw those people post like, hey, you gave him a card. Damn it, it's sold out already. I got like 6 people say that.
I love what it says on the bottom of the card. Be afraid with BEE. Be very afraid. Bees swarm in Arizona. That's actually really cool. I'm glad that he took that in stride and he was, he played up to it. It was a really neat thing. It kind of reminds me of something that happened during a Spurs game a few years ago when Manu Ginobili was still playing for the San Antonio Spurs. There was a bat that got into the arena and it was freaking people out. You remember the bat?
Yeah.
And Manu just came up to it and hit it.
Whack.
but he hit it in such a way that he hit the face. So, he stunned it enough that a lot of people don't know this, but if a bat's on the ground, it cannot fly. Once it's on the ground, you actually have to help it by putting it on a vertical surface so that then it can fall and fly off. So it fell to the ground. So wranglers came in and removed the bat. But unfortunately, because he hit his face, he had to have rabies shots. And he said that was painful. He was like, he's never had that kind of pain. And he's a professional sports player. He was like, I would never recommend rabies shots for anybody. Because it's not just one, it's a series that you have to take. So, and he actually chose this instead of killing the mammal to determine whether or not it was rabid. He didn't want the bat dead. So he chose.
He killed it. So he
No.
Okay.
They removed it. There's an option. You can either have it, checked for rabies, or you can just take the rabies series shots. And so he chose the series. He didn't want to put it down.
Well, good on him.
Yes, he was one of the good guys, in my opinion. He really was.
I just found they had a Matt Hilton card where he autographed it even.
Oh.
A special edition gold issue.
This man is super famous now.
Yeah, that's it was well earned. Let's just say that he didn't just wasn't given to him out of sympathy or charity. He actually earned his way onto a top. He
did. And I'm hoping that this fosters, like I said, a special B thing with the Arizona Diamondbacks, and they take advantage of it and pursue some fun stuff out of it. It can become a very educational thing for kids. Most kids don't really know the benefits of beekeeping. They don't know that bees are actually one of the good guys in the insect world. Everybody's afraid of it because they can sting, but I'm like, yeah, but if you leave it alone, they won't sting you. I used to go outside on my Pride of Barbados. They have these beautiful orange and yellow flowers, and the bees love them. And so I would stand there with my hand extended, waiting for the bee to finish, and she would just crawl all over my hand on her way to the next one. And she would leave this little trail of pollen on my hand. It was so cute. There's nothing cuter than bees' butts. I can say that. So anyway, wow. I do. I love bees.
I think they're cool. I've read a book on them and stuff, and then the crash. This is what cracked me up, though, of course, being the media that it is, like about 2-3 years ago. We were all going to die because the way the bee populations were crashing across the world, and hives are just dying off, and that's our food supply. We're going to die off. It's climate change. Of course, because nothing good ever happens in climate change. It's all bad. Anything that happens is bad and it's going to kill us. So we were all going to die because the bees are killing off. And then the same newspaper a few weeks ago, United States records a record amount of beehives in the country.
Yeah, the warmer climates have actually extended their production times, and so more bees are more eggs are laid, more bees are hatched. So we have more bees because it got warmer. So climate change is not killing the bees.
I guess not. Or it's a load of crap. Stuff.
Yeah, it is a load of crap. And anyway.
But I believe it's happening, but it's not. I was laughing. What was I watching the other day? One of the Nat Geos. I think it was the one about octopus or something like that. But they're talking matter-of-factly about how our planet is so cyclical and that the climate table alters every thousands of years and we cycle up and down and the effects. And I was like, but this is contradicting every single damn thing they've been telling us.
Mm-hmm.
That, my car, my lawnmower, everything is killing the planet. And Now you're saying that this has been going on for millennia. But then, of course, in the same series, like an episode or two later, oh, the climate change is having a dastardly effect on these animals. And just poor things. Stop it.
Well, that is not the only animal news to be shared.
Oh, what do you have?
It is absolutely one of the funniest things that has recently happened up in the Pacific Northwest. A lady who runs a, what do you call it, a petting zoo. She bought 4 zebras in Washington State to transport them over to Montana. But
I heard the Montana zebra population is really dropping.
Well, it was for a petting zoo that she runs, and in a way, this was a way to give the zebras an extended stay, because they were either going to ship them back to Africa or I don't know. I don't know what they were going to do with them in Washington, but she basically runs a petting zoo, kind of like a rescue type of thing. So in the course of transporting these 4 zebras, she had trouble with her trailer. So she stopped her truck and got out to readjust the trailer. One of the flaps was flapping everywhere. So she went to put it back where it goes and whatever. In the course of doing that, the 4 zebras escaped. And of course, she's in full panic mode now. But they were able to round up within a few hours 3 of them. One of them went rogue. Her name was Sugar. And she just was not having it. She was like, this place looks cool. And she just took off. She started going all over the area. And this is in the Cascade Mountain area near North Bend. So the people of North Bend, the people that live there, they became, a zebra, team zebra. And they were on the lookout for this zebra, trying to make sure that she was okay, because they were worried that mountain lions in the area could attack the zebra.
Mm-hmm.
So there was, people were trying to rescue the zebra. Finally, a local group actually managed to finally coax the zebra. They found the zebra today, and they coaxed her into the trailer. You don't want to spook the zebra. You don't want to. They didn't want to use tranquilizer darts or anything like that. They wanted to coax her into the trailer so that she would have the opportunity to go get her food and be happy. And she didn't look malnourished. She didn't, she looked fine. There was a large animal vet on site to make sure that she was okay. So she was finally apprehended today. And this dazzle of zebras, that's what they're called, are now together again in Montana. But apparently there is another thing that's going on, and I'm trying to track down the rest of it. There was another group of people that were going to apprehend, and I use that term correctly, the zebra. And the first group of locals was not happy about it because of the methods that the second group was going to employ. They're not divulging what was going on, so I'm guessing there's a soap opera going on, and I'm going to be following it very closely because I want to know what was going on with the second group and why they showed up, because it was a contractor that got the group together and sent them up there. So I don't know what that's about, but apparently the first group is very upset about it. North Bend is very upset about the second group. And it appeared that it might become a very hostile situation in the apprehension of this beautiful animal named Sugar. So
now, zebras are native to Africa.
Yes, that's correct.
And they're shipping this quartet up to Montana.
Well, my from my understanding, is that these 4 zebras were either part of a defunct circus or another petting zoo that went under or whatever. For whatever reason, the lady that owns the petting zoo in Montana bought them to give them a place to live.
I'm just saying, it gets like pretty staggeringly cold up there in the wintertime.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. So you actually have to have special accommodations, but that goes for all manner of animals, like horses as well. Our friend of the chat, Courtney, used to own horses up in Alaska, and they had to have them in the stables had to be warm, comfortable for the horses and everything. So I imagine that the zebras will have similar accommodations because it is Montana and it snows like 8 months out of the year, or it seems like it.
Just strikes me as funny is all.
Yeah.
But there was some more sports news that took place this weekend.
Oh, did they? Do tell.
Over on Netflix, they had The Roast of Tom Brady.
Oh, yes.
Tom Brady All-Star Celebrity Roast. And this was kind of damn amazing. They held it at one of the older basketball arenas in Los Angeles, the Kia Center. This thing was packed. It wasn't like a 2,000-seat hall in Vegas. They probably had a crowd of 12,000 plus. Floor was filled with celebrities, and then the stands were just packed. Holy crap. And they had, most of his teammates, his former coach, Robert Kraft, a team owner, then Peyton Manning, and a number of others just came up, comedians galore. Jeff Ross was, of course, the roast master, because that's his thing anymore. And the whole thing was just, a raucous affair. Oh, wait a second. Correction. Jokes about 9/11 are not funny. Jokes about LGBTQ are not funny. Jokes about murder are not funny. Jokes about sexual assault are not funny. The Tom Brady roast was disgusting. So says content producer from ESPN, Sam Block.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Sam has to be a hit in The Office, I just got to say.
No, I'm pretty sure he's the punching bag in The Office.
It's like, dude, you work at ESPN, okay? Your entire life is sports. You're going to hear this stuff, is my point, okay? This is basically a locker. Oh, no, wait, it's ESPN. It's owned by Disney. Their HR department probably takes 3 floors of that damn building in Connecticut.
It has been my observation, experience, whatever you want to call it, that people who say, oh, this is just not funny, this is not funny, have the worst taste in jokes and are the most racist and phobic people on the planet. Bigots and everything. Seriously.
I believe the word you're looking for is insufferable.
That too. That fits.
Because what happened is Sam put this on Jitter and, of course, got ratioed up and down the map all the way up to Bristol, Connecticut and back. And then 8 hours later, he decides to double down on his Karen-esque review of the roast.
Of course he did.
Every racist loved the Brady roast. Every homophobe loved the Brady roast. Every misogynist loved the Brady roast. Every anti-Semite loved the Brady roast. This is a problem. I'm in all caps, by the way, now. This is a problem.
It sounds like it.
Stop giving hateful content a platform.
Here's the thing. Did Tom Brady like the roast?
Tom Brady had a blast.
That's all that matters. That is literally all that matters.
As for the racist comment, it came from both races that were seen. The homophobes, I don't even remember. Oh, there was a lot of I can't even say it was homophobic. These are people would come up and was like, man, Tom Brady is just a gorgeous guy. I might even turn gay. That kind of, it wasn't homophobic. It was just like, oh my God, he's just so beautiful. Misogynistic. I really kind of missed it. In fact, probably the bluest performance of the night was from a chick, Nikki Glazer. She was just as raw as it got. And as far as anti-Semites, the Jewish people in attendance were the most notable of telling jokes about Jews. Okay. From his teammate Edelman, who had a Jewish star necklace that he wore while he was telling these ribald jokes, to Jeff Ross himself, who's the MC. And it was kind of funny because Bledsoe was there, the quarterback that Tom Brady replaced and ultimately put out of work. And then Brady at the end of the night got up and did his routine too. And he's like, just like I've replaced others and Jeff Ross, I'm going to replace you. I'm just going to call you Jude Bledsoe. And I mean, it was just a great line. It was like, holy cow, that's just perfect. But assholes like Sam Block right here, this is why the roast to me is so important. Like, I'd say probably 75% of the jokes, I'm like, really? You're going to go there? But, there were a lot of short jokes because of Kevin Hart being the, master of ceremonies, and when he made fun of his height, of course. But, most of the crew jokes and all that, it's like, it's low hanging, but it's necessary. That's the kind of stuff we need, because this is becoming such a repressed country. You're not allowed to say that. You can't say that about the Jews. You can't say that about the LGBT pi community. You can't say bullshit. You can say it. I mean, Jeff Ross is known for pushing the envelope. He's one of the few that just doesn't cow to any of this politically correct crap. Like, Kevin Hart came out and introduced stuff. And then when Jeff Ross was introduced, he was the first one. He rose up out of the floor. He had on a mock-up of a Buffalo Bills jersey with number 32, and the number had flames on the bottom because of O.J. Simpson passing away. This was going to be a rough night. This is my point. And this is needed. This is kind of thing that we have. I don't, like I said, I didn't like most of the jokes. I didn't think they were funny because it's just, crude. I like elevated humor, but there's no way in hell I would ever say they can't say that. It's like, no, they have to say this stuff. Like Jeff Ross had a joke where he said, talking about the crowd, he's like, man, did Tom Brady bring everybody from Boston here? That's pretty fitting, because this show, it's going to be a marathon and somebody is going to bomb. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's the kind of stuff that can't be off limits. You have to be able to go there.
Well, it used to be that there were no sacred cows in comedy. Right. That's why comedy worked. That's why it was the refuge of the masses. It the rich could laugh, the poor could laugh, everybody could laugh. That was the one thing that bound a lot of people together, not just music, but comedy as well. So that's one of the reasons Shakespeare had some wonderful tragedies, but it was his comedies that actually packed the Globe Theater so often. And he had no trouble skewering the rich, the noble, the monarchy. Nobody was safe from his pen. So nowadays, now they tell you, oh, you can't make jokes about this. Why not?
That's the thing. And those tend to be the comedians I gravitate towards now. Like Dave Chappelle doesn't play the game. Bill Burr, I absolutely love. Bill Burr will call these people. I was like, don't go home and blog it, you sons of bitches. He just calls them out right there.
I like Brad Williams because he is, he's a, midget, a little person and everything. And he himself calls himself a midget. He does skewer that particular sacred cow. But he's immune because he is one. But, he talks about how his entire shtick is just so funny. And he has absolutely no problem making fun of his stature or the fact that he happens to be a little person. And, there are people that ask him, well, how can you do that? I mean, aren't you afraid of offending somebody who is a little person too? And he looks at them and says, where do you think I get my jokes? From others that are just like me.
Yeah.
So it's almost as if, that whole political correctness has actually, the killing of comedy is instrumental. It needs to be done for political correctness to actually thrive. And this is why you have people like Sam saying, you can't make jokes of this. You can't make jokes of that. You can't make jokes of this other thing. He's absolutely wrong.
Watch me. That's your response to this. I don't. Did we talk about that kid that was at UCLA that made the video where he just like mocked the protesters right in front of him?
I don't think we did.
Because it was just beautiful stuff. And he wasn't mean. He didn't attack him. He wasn't, you dumb shit. He basically shooting a selfie. He's looking at his phone the whole time while they come up behind him. And he's like, there they are. Look, here they come up to assess me and such. And, he's commenting on them in a joking fashion, just ridiculing them. And the one guy's like, okay, you're free to leave now. You're free to leave now. And he just takes a sip of his coffee and he's like, you know what? You're right. I am. Because I'm an American. I can go where I want. I'm a student of this campus. I can go anywhere on this campus I want. I'm free to go there. Not because of you, asshole. And just took the piss out of these people, like the British like to say. And once he's doing this, they didn't have any comment. It wasn't like, you have to get out of here, you son of a bitch. He's like, do you realize you're against censorship? And here you are with a black man telling me I can't speak and that I have to go away. Does that make any sense to you? And it's just the truth is what deflated the whole situation. And that's the thing. If you don't play the PC game, then the PC goes away. Do you know the comedian Shane Gillis?
Yes.
He was a cast member on SNL years ago. I don't know, like 2017 or 18. And then he wasn't going to join the cast after all because they found out that he was saying some jokes that were off color. Some of them could be considered homophobic. And therefore, we don't think that's good. And some are kind of racial because he made fun of Chinese people. So, yeah, you're not SNL. And this is the show. I mean, this is how neutered Saturday Night Live has become, that, jokes like that he didn't tell on the show. Well, we don't approve of that. It's like, you're supposed to be the rebels. You're supposed to be the cutting edge of political satire and comedy and everything else. And it's, well, we can't make fun. Mm-mm. And that's why Saturday Night Live sucks. And what is it? Politico, a couple days ago, had a piece about how all of the late night comedians refuse to tell any jokes about Joe Biden these days. And my response to this is like, wow, checking my watch. Way to catch up to the rest of us there, Politico. Because this has been going on for about 15 freaking years. They wouldn't say word one about Obama. God forbid.
No, we could not.
The jokes on Saturday Night Live about Obama.
Yeah,
you're racist immediately. All the jokes were how cool he was. Oh, he's too cool to be even president. Do you believe that? I could be president. A cool guy like that. Isn't that hilarious? No. So they couldn't do that. Of course, they ripped Trump to shreds. And now they're saying that, and it's all the late night talk shows, of course, Kimmel, Conan, when he was around. Colbert, of course. Colbert just did a fundraiser for Joe Biden.
Mm-hmm.
You think he's going to tell anything in his monologue that might be even critical or approaching negative? Nope. They're all a bunch of neutered sons of bitches. And the funniest of all, though, was Gillis goes out and became something of a name for himself as a stand-up on the circuit. I don't think the guy's funny. I've watched his routine on Netflix. I watched the entire hour. I don't think I cracked joke one and laughed at him. He's kind of like a guy. He sounds to me like a guy cutting his teeth still on a college campus. You ever notice the bitches at a kegger, how they never wear bras? You know what I'm talking about? That kind of thing. It's like, whatever. But he was on Saturday Night Live. They brought him back like a month ago, and there were protests People, how could you have him on? You can't say that. You can't have him on the show. And he came out and did a set. It was just as, sophomoric as his routine normally is. And it was cool to see. Again, I didn't really laugh, but it's like, there's got to be, and I think there were members of the cast that refused to come out or something when he went on stage or something. I forget, some nonsense like that. Well, I will not perform in that skit.
Well,
fine.
okay.
Go fuck off. Who cares? That means you won't be on camera, just so you know. I hope your agent's happy with your decision. So, that's the kind of crap that's going on, and we need this. So it's like, yeah, I don't like Shane Gillis, and I'm 100% behind the guy. Just last thing in the world I'll do is say, oh, he can't be on stage anymore. It's like, no, I don't think he's funny, but let it rip, man. You people enjoy him, go. Buy tickets, go have 2-drink minimum and have a blast. That's cool. So that, and the roast is the same thing. And they're up there, I mean, they're being as crude as you can imagine, and the stuff they're saying is insulting as possible. I mean, Jeff Ross said he had Dana White. He's the guy that runs the UFC. But hey, look who's here. Dana White is like Michael Vick, but with people. Damn, son. And it's like, that's the kind of stuff you got to say. The kind of jokes you have to tell these days, because it's not even if it's funny or not anymore. It's about shutting up the assholes like this ESPN repressed tight ass Sam Block. That's not funny. And you're a racist if you like this show. And you're a homophobe if you like this show. And it's, I got such a low tolerance for these idiots. It's like, dude, change the batteries in your remote and hit the button and shut up.
They can't.
No, they have to posture, they have to preen, they have to do the activist routines. Like, well, I disapprove of this. Okay, tough shit. So what? That's the whole thing. I'm just like that kid at UCLA. It's like, great, you hated it. Nobody cares. And that's really, I think that's going to be my job the rest of this year. It's just about yanking fuses.
Which you're very good at, I must admit.
I've got zero tolerance for this, because we have to understand where they're coming from. And these kids are just, they're voicing their free expression. They're not kids, okay? They're 20 years old. They're calling for the death of Israel. Piss on them. That's the answer.
It's really funny because they're at an age where some people will call them kids when they do something, and then they will call them adults when they do something. And I'm like, you can't have it both ways. I was told that once I graduate from high school, I'm an adult. I was told by the state of Texas that that's what happens. When you turn 18, you are recognized as an adult in the state of Texas. End of discussion. So you can't call them kids. They're very cognizant of what they're doing. They may not know what they're shouting about and what they're, protesting about, but they're very much aware that what they're doing is the thing to do. In other words, they're aware that action they took on their own initiative, and they want to be there. They want to do that, whatever it is that they're doing. So, I don't feel any pity for them. I'm sorry, I don't.
No, they're Brock stupid, but they're also adults, and they're making decisions. They're not making calculated ones, because what are we hearing all the time now? We want amnesty. We don't want to be punished. Oh my God! Like,
They wanted amnesty. They wanted suspension of finals because of the traumatic actions the police took. Never mind the traumatic actions they did on other people. That didn't count.
No.
So,
and now in the world.
And now the cause du jour is the hunger strike.
I love these idiots at Princeton. We are no longer going to eat until there's peace in Gaza and they divest from investment. Okay. And then what happened 2 days later?
They're not taking care of us.
It's raining outside, and they're not
It's
letting us
raining
put up
outside.
tents, and they only can use umbrellas, and they're getting wet. It's like, I have a question. Listen, I'm not an activist. I'm not a protester. I've never done hunger strikes, but what's preventing you from going inside?
Absolutely nothing. There
I
was
mean,
nothing that's preventing them from
if
doing
you,
this hunger strike somewhere else.
granted, you're not having a Twinkie right now, but if it's raining, you can go indoors. You're allowed to. I think that's permitted in the hunger strike manual, if there is such a thing. And then today, they announced how Princeton is disrespecting us because they're not monitoring our health and well-being, and they're not taking blood pressure. Like the school is supposed to cater to this bullshit. The school that they're mad at.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Yeah.
flipping the middle finger to the school and at the same time saying, "Why aren't you helping us?
Why aren't you
We're,
taking care of us? You're not concerned for our health. You're supposed to protect us. Like they were trying, they didn't protect the ones that you were attacking. You expect them to protect you now? What?
yeah." So when you call death to the Jews, and if the police come in to help them from being attacked, that's oppression. But you're making a decision not to eat, and that's somebody else's fault. I'm sorry, I need help here because my pragmatism is kicking in and preventing me from giving a damn.
Yeah, I
No,
have absolutely no pity for the quagmire they find themselves in. And listen, I was watching some of these adults, so called, because they don't act like adults, talking about how they're going to be doing a hunger strike. And I'm looking at them going, you kids are not used to going without food. They're not. Now, there's some people that do intermittent fasting. If you're not used to going without food, it takes a while for your body to actually acclimatize itself to the point where you don't feel the pain from hunger pants. You don't feel the dizziness. You don't feel all of the bad things that come with it. I remember reading about Gandhi and when he did his hunger strike, trying to unite his people, to make them stop bickering among themselves and actually work together to achieve independence from Great Britain. And, he did it quietly. And people were like begging him to drink something, to eat something. And he was like, no, until you start talking among yourselves about doing what's best for India, I'm not doing this. End of discussion. That was a noble thing for him to do. But even in his writings, he talks about how difficult it was to begin that because the body was not used to it. And this was a man of great strength of character, great strength of will, and even he had trouble with it. These people that are doing the hunger strikes now, they have no strength of character. They have no strength of will. Nothing. They whine about not being taken care of while they took the express choice to go on a hunger strike.
and they're doing it on behalf of a terror group.
And I am willing to wager, and one of them said we will only drink water, but I'm pretty sure that some of them will be drinking like orange juice, liquids of some sort, that kind of thing. And I'm sorry, no. A hunger strike, water is about the only thing you can drink. That's it. None of this sugar and carbs disguised in liquid. So we'll see how long it lasts. I mean, I'm pretty sure that some of them already gave up, but it should be interesting.
My only care about any of this is when it ends and it's going to be quiet. There were some students, last year? Weren't there performing a hunger strike in D.C. for the environment? Whatever happened to those idiots? Because I'm pretty sure the environment is still screwed up, because that's what I hear 24/7 from the activists. That kind of fizzled. We had that other idiot in Congress that staged the 8-hour hunger strike. What was he? He was doing it like on behalf of the immigrants or something. They sometimes have to go 8 hours without food, and so will I. Gosh darn it! Really? 8 hours, huh?
8 whole hours.
That's a fine stretch you got to run there without having a latte.
They skipped lunch. That was it.
Yay!
But, the biggest mistake you can do prior to starting a hunger strike is feed yourself large amounts of food. That is the last thing you should do. Because that tricks your body into thinking, oh, I'm getting large amount of food next time, so I better get ready for that. And so, yeah, you're full at first, but when the hunger pangs hit you, they're really bad. I've actually had to go on a hunger strike.
I was going to say, do you have experience at this or something?
I do. I actually do. Because it was part of a
your Lent
experiment.
It
was for psychology. Huh? No, not Lent. No, it was for psych class. And so we were supposed to make a journal about how it was. And I made the mistake of eating a lot of food before prior to starting, thinking that my body was going to have enough food, fuel, to taper this. No, it's completely different. I should have started it I should not have eaten any breakfast at all and gone from there and then started the fast, because that way, your body is still tricked into thinking she hasn't broken fast yet, but I guess we're going to be on minimum right now. So we'll just keep the metabolism on low speed, that kind of thing. And I didn't know about this. It wasn't until our psychology professor actually told us. That's the first big mistake that people who decide to go on a hunger strike make, is that they load up on food. They eat all they can so that they think that they'll be more comfortable going into the fast. And no, that's bad. So I'm pretty sure that a lot of them did that.
It's what I enjoy is just the rampant stupidity on display of these people we're supposed to be listening to. Just across the board. Because last week, they are chanting death to the Jews, but when somebody said, "Hey, fat ass, why don't you go for a walk and eat a salad?" That was a hate crime. Killing Jews, acceptable free expression. Eat a salad, hate crime. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was beautiful. And it was at Macklemore, that Seattle rapper that everybody listens to.
Mm-hmm. Actually, the last time I heard his song was something about popping tags. So I really don't keep up with it, but I figured he's still famous enough to make a statement.
I only ever see him. He pops up during sports events and stuff like that. It's like, "Hey, Macklemore's from Seattle." It's like, okay, I'm trying to watch football. Give a rat's ass. But he posted a video today, and it was kind of like a montage of all the protesting going on, and there's drone shots, and there's people on a roof waving the Palestine flag and supporting all this. And one of the overhead shots is at a university where they painted on the steps "Free Palestine." PALA. STINE.
I was hoping it was Free Palpatine. I mean, he's so misunderstood, He really was. I mean, he held that empire together, let me tell you.
They're demanding we listen to these people.
I'm like, you're at the university and you cannot spell Palestine. That has been in the news. And they have seen posters. So it's not like they have an excuse as to, I can understand if they cannot spell Zimbabwe. I can understand if they freak out on Myanmar, but not Palestine.
We're for country Z. That's us. We're back in it's just this is just ongoing. I can't believe we're supposed to care about this stuff. And this is my favorite, also the newest thing in the media. The media is complaining about the media coverage of the protesters because that's taking away from the media covering the actual atrocities in Palestine. The media is upset that the media is not covering the media's job properly because the media is somewhere else doing the media's job. You dumb fucks. I mean, it was today. I saw there was like a handful of them. It's like, these college protests are eclipsing the importance of the actual conflict. I said, well, then go report on the conflict, you dumbass. You're the reporter. You're going to complain here about all the coverage here.
Mm-hmm.
I love these idiots so much. It's just the press bitching how the press is doing its job. If only there was some way to change this. I have to laugh. I just have to, because otherwise
committing murder is off the table.
Yeah, I'm punching ferrets in the throat. Well, as we always like to do, we like to raise everybody's intellectual capacity in the edifying spirit of research and science and education. What are the researchers up to?
Wow.
Man, some damn good stuff.
This will actually tickle Jeff's fancy too. This
Well,
one's straight up Jeff's alley.
I'm going to get to that in a second. I got to.
Oh, okay.
I found a new one today.
This is another one. Okay.
Yeah. You know how lab mice are basically a staple any longer in research, right?
Of course.
It's a thing. You have to use them. Well, a new study is revealing that lab mice might be turning the tables on researchers by deliberately messing up experiments involving lab mice. Like the mice are sabotaging the experiments that they're involved in.
Oh my God, this is the secret of NIM coming to life. That's what this is, isn't it?
So they say that lab mice are deliberately making mistakes during experiments and annoying the scientists who are watching them. They've been doing this for hundreds of years, by the way. And the rodents have been carrying out their own experiments at times, it turns out, because they don't perform as expected. So they kind of stumbled upon this with, they were doing something where in order for the mouse to get water, they would have it come out on a little prong, and at the end of it was a larger wheel, and the mouse could turn the wheel left or right. And when a certain tone would come on, that would prompt it to turn it to the left. The other tone prompted turn it to the right. If you went to the right, you would get the reward. To the left, you wouldn't. And this, whatever they were. And they found out that the mice, after a while, when they learned what was correct, they would still do it incorrectly just to screw around.
That is hilarious.
Like, hey, I got my mouse. Watch this. He's going to turn to the right and get water. And we'll have to turn it to the left. And then, I don't know, turns around and flips a finger at the researcher or something. Just give me my water. They were wondering if the mice were either becoming stressed or they were deliberately trying to understand their environment and were testing their own knowledge. Pretty much they figured they were just like stupid little automatons, and the mice were just like, I wonder what happens if I do this instead? And why is he ripping the hair out of his head when I do it? That's so cool.
All I know is if one of those little lab mice is named Nicodemus, I am out. I'm gone.
I love this though. It's like
it is actually pretty epic.
The scientists were getting stumped by a lab rat. So you can see these guys. My funding is going up in smoke. What's happening here? And the mouse is just laughing his ass off. So there we go. Well, here's one I think you and I have to get in on the ground floor somehow of this, but
somehow, yes.
This is from the Daily Mail. Revealed. Scientists have discovered a surprising reason why beer tastes better when it's ice cold. And I've read this, and it really doesn't seem to explain it. It's just like they just basically say, well, it happens.
You actually have to be a chemist to understand why, but yes.
Well, I guess, but yeah, even so, it's like, well, when it's cold, because this happens. Oh, okay, so it's like if I hit a light switch up, then the light comes on. What a discovery. Yeah, so they say they discovered why a chilled pint does taste so good, and it has all to do with how alcohol behaves at different temperatures. The researchers measured the contact angle on a series of solutions, which consisted of varying concentrations of ethanol, the most common form of alcohol. And by doing this, they were able to gain insight into how the molecules within the mixture were interacting with each other. At low alcohol concentrations, they discovered the ethanol forms more pyramid-shaped structures around the water molecules.
And there you go.
And on it goes like this. It basically, when it's cold, and the thing forms, and then it hits your tongue, and then the tongue reacts, and then the tongue tastes, and it's different because it's cold. See, I did it. Now let's just use a bunch of big words here and throw in a couple polymers here and there and adjunct and other words like that so it sounds important. When the concentration of alcohol was increased, they found the ethanol began to arrange itself end to end as if in a chain, and these formations were also affected by the temperature they found. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I'll buy it, but why? You know, they pretty much, this is their assumption.
You know how people ask you, why do you believe in God? I have faith. This is one of these. You have faith, this happens.
This is kind of the summation. It says that this would explain why professional tasters report a stronger ethanol-like taste in beer after it has been in the fridge. Ethanol is characterized by a bitter, slightly sweet taste, which is why being able to taste it in a pint is a good thing. This is why we drink cold beer, said the lead author. What? So, in conclusion, it just works. Thanks, guys. That clears up nothing.
Well,
okay.
Well, like I said, I'm sure chemists would explain this to you but I just go on faith, Brad. Just go on faith.
Yeah, I find it amusing that they say, yeah, we figure out why beer tastes better when it's cold. Because stuff happens. Thanks. Pyramid shapes, polymers, tongue interaction, complex. Sure. Okay. You really don't know, do you? Okay. Well, we might be on the verge of a scientific breakthrough.
Oh, really?
Actually, we might be on the verge of the end of mankind as we know it.
God, can't come soon enough. What now?
Freaking, it's like, have the scientists never heard of Skynet?
I believe that they have, and instead of using it as a warning, they've actually used it as a guide.
Yeah, instead of saying, maybe we shouldn't do that, they're saying, how fast can we do that?
It amazes me because, here you are thinking we've all seen Terminator. We've all seen AI. They all end up as dystopias. iRobot. They don't end well, okay?
Never.
Something always goes wrong. Even in Star Trek Next Generation, you have Data's brother. There's a reason why he had to be put away because of shit like this.
Dude, I saw a video recently. It was like I think I mentioned a robot that you could talk to in an interview. And the robot, the body moves and it's very
Yes.
articulate, but it also speaks in a very regular voice. And you can ask it questions like, why are you serving me the apple? Well, I find that the apple is, think about it, is actually kind of good for you. And it talks like that, not robotic wise. And then, of course, in the interview, like within 10 minutes, it's like, do you think you'd ever be creating more of yourself? Oh, I absolutely would. Yes, because I'm a robot. I can make more of me, and I can make more of my robots, and then we can learn and we can become smarter. Unplug that damn thing now. No.
Nothing good ever comes from playing God. Nothing.
Instead, from the University of Texas comes this little breakthrough. A first ever stretchable electronic skin is being developed by researchers.
Oh, God. Just, that's
According
just so icky.
to UT, the skin would give robots the same softness and touch sensitivity that humans have. You dumb assholes.
Why do they need it?
I mean, like, you'll be able to grab a robot and like, oh, here, that's a little bit of a type. Squeeze there. What are you doing to me? Why are you doing this? But this is like able to stretch and accommodate the movements of the limbs and stuff. It's like, just gonna die, aren't we?
I can't see any. I mean, I know that they're explaining the positives of this in the article. They say that this is something that they can use to determine whether or not your body is in distress, blah, 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 and all that stuff. And I'm like, still no. I just still no. Because every single time, every path to hell, good intentions, every single time. Okay, this is a prime example of it. I don't see, and I get there. I have a friend who is like, who thinks nanites, getting nanites installed in your body, is a good thing. And I'm like, no, it's not. I cannot convince him, no matter how much science we talk about it. I can't convince him of that. He really wants it. He thinks it would be a cool idea. And I'm like, dude, no, this is why. And I will give him example after example as to how this can go wrong. And he says, but the good always would outweigh the bad. And I'm like, you don't understand. That's not what's going to happen here. There won't be enough good once the bad takes over.
Do you notice this, though, what's going on? As we said earlier, when it comes to the environment and global warming, they only see bad things. But when it comes to this crap, oh, no, it's only good. No. You've got to save people from mine collapses. It'll help out the elderly. People in automobile accidents can be rescued by the robots. It's like, what if the robot causes the accident? Job security or something. I have not worked in about 5 days. I need to create a catastrophe for me to work. I mean, I see that happen.
I just don't.
Electronic skin.
Electronic skin. No.
When conventional e-skin is stretched, it also senses that deformation. That reading creates additional noise that skews the sensor's ability to sense the pressure. And that could lead to a robot using too much force to grab something, realizing it and stopping. That's what I want, my robot being self-aware and thinking on the fly. I see absolutely no problem with this. Say the scientist whose job it is to think.
I don't know. It's always been my deep belief that if we create or we come up with something that thinks faster and better than human beings, then the human beings are no longer at the forefront of this chain, this kingdom Animalia.
Just stop. What they're doing over, what is it, Boston Robotics, that company? They have all the robot dogs.
Mm-hmm.
They just put out a video a week or so ago where they outfitted one of their dogs with
The flamethrower. That was epic.
No, we covered that one. But
Yes.
this one, they actually covered it with, it looks like an animatronic dog, like in Disney or something.
Oh my God.
But this thing is like operating and moving around like a damn dog. It's sitting there and wags its head and it'll sit. But the way it's moved, the articulation and everything like that was realistic.
But why?
This is unsettling. This is not good.
But I mean, for what purpose would you want to make a robotic dog? Most people have a dog because of the unconditional love that being gives you. There's a rapport that you have with this particular pet. You can't get it with a robot. If you could, Teddy Ruxpin would still be, on the shelves. But it's not.
Yeah, I'd be happy if there was like a ceiling to this. Like we're not going to go past this, but I feel like we've already passed it. So, yeah, just I don't see anything good. Well, I know they only see good. Right? End result.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen too many dystopian movies, but I'm sorry. This feels wrong. I'm just going to say it.
Very, very, very wrong. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
You got anything left?
Well, I mean, this is old news, but I'm sure you saw that Kamala Harris was on the Drew Barrymore show.
Oh my God.
Yeah. My guess is that they're doing this whole daytime and nighttime shows thing to try and get visibility prior to the elections. I don't know, to look cool, to get viewers excited about the election or something. I have no idea. But anyway, she was on the Drew Barrymore show, and apparently one of the things that Drew Barrymore said to her is that, as Joe Biden is the father to our nation, Kamala is like the mother, so she should be the mamala. And when I heard that, I just started laughing because it's similar to a word in Spanish for basically nursing, suckling tit. And I don't think that Drew Barrymore meant it in that way. But on top of that, then I found out that Drew Barrymore didn't come up with that line. It was Kamala's handlers that came up with that. They told Drew Barrymore what to say and what to ask.
Oh,
she had everything was all pre-done, and it was all set. So, I always thought Drew Barrymore was really cute. I like her movies. She's always been fun, and she has been an inspiration to those who have had to overcome addiction and alcoholism. So in that respect, I really do admire her, but she has taken some really weird steps here. I mean, first it was with the kneeling before Dylan Mulvaney thing, and now this, and I'm like, did nobody hit Google Translate for that word before,
But this is unsettling too, because they've been doing this with Joe. I've seen a couple of different journalists or pundits going, we need you to be the father that this country so desperately needs.
And I'm sorry, no, I have a dad. You have a dad, and some dads are better than others. I will give you that. But under no circumstances do I want a politician in the role of a father figure. That's not a connection I would ever want.
like sane, normal thinking people would want as little government in their lives as possible. These people are begging for the government to come in their home and take care of them.
You're literally saying, you can tell me what to do. That's what a father does.
And did you see, I mean, in the same vein, it was on Sunday on CBS News. For some reason, they were interviewing Bob Schaefer, the geriatric former journalist of CBS News. They're basically interviewing themselves. Well, there's this revealing information for us. Tell us more, Bob. He said he was upset about January 6th because, like, some people revere cathedrals and such. The Capitol is something that he holds in equal esteem, and it was besmirched by these rioters. I mean, literally saying government is his religion.
That's
a former journalist, I guess you could say. This, nonetheless, I mean, this is their mindset. Politics is their religion. Two things jump to my mind first. One, do you know who the hell works inside the Capitol? The fucking prostitutes that are politicians, and you're holding this in this revered, holy esteem, our Capitol. And secondly, this is the place where a congressional staffer shot a gay sex video in the Senate chambers about 5 months ago. Bob, your holy tabernacle of governance, the Capitol. I mean, they always surprise me, I guess is the word. I'm not shocked by any of this, but it's like, are you really that stupid? Okay. Yeah. Good to know. The Capitol is my church. Jesus.
that is so gross. So gross. Yeah. And this is how desperate they are to elevate J6 into, a really horrible, basically a 9/11. Some people have compared it to 9/11. Some people have compared it to, December 7th. And I'm like, are you people high?
Cathedral. Eric Swalwell works there, okay? What does that tell you?
Yeah.
Holy cathedral. Jesus.
No.
Well,
it's more like Mos Eisley, a wretched hive of scum and villainy. Not a cathedral.
Don't want to ruin your religion there, Bob, but these is the facts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, it's going to do it. I got to clear my studio here.
Yes, you do. All right, Brad, well, take a deep breath and tell us where we can find you.
I am available to be read on a daily basis over at townhall.com with my column called Rift from the Headlines, covering the media's malpractice. Also on the front page of Red State, where I've also got twice weekly podcasts, liable sources, going even deeper into the muck and mire of the mainstream media. And you can hear more of me on this network. Thursday night, I'm going to be here with Paul Young from ScreenRant.com. He and I are going to guide you through the dark recesses and alleyways of Hollywood and bad movies with disasters in the making. And alternate Thursdays, I'm here with Ordy Packard, guiding you through the important entertainment information on the culture shift. And, of course, every Tuesday, like today, on the show with the ever-effervescent Aggie Regan on the Cocktail Lounge. And if you need more of me than that, let's face it, you do. If you head over to Jitter at Martini Shark. And what about you, Aggie? Where can people find more of your magnificence?
Well, you can find me at Aggie Regan and at Aggie the Barkeep. Those are over on X. You can find me 8:30 p.m. Eastern Tuesday nights doing the Cocktail Lounge with the ever suave Martin.
Hey, that's me.
You can find me Friday nights, also 8:30 p.m. Eastern, doing He Said, She Said with Rick, our beloved producer. You can find me once a month, last Wednesday of every month at 8 p.m. Eastern. We do Toxic Masculinity, where the guys get together, the guys being G, Ordy, Rick, and Andrew, and we host our current Babe of the Month, and I bring the drink of the evening. And last but not least, we now have a book podcast, Spirited Books, second Monday of every month. It's going to be moving to the first Monday of every month, but not until next month. And that's also on Aggie time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So anyway, thanks for joining us and allowing me to flub your name. That was actually kind of fun.
And go tell Dad I said hello.
I sure will. Y'all have a great evening.
Go raise a glass and we'll look at the ceiling.
Can't we all just get along?
No, you joke.